ونستغفره ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ولا إله غيره ولا رب سواه، أول بلا ابتداء دائم بلا انتهاء، لا يفنى ولا يبيد ولا يكون إلا ما يريد، لا تبلغه الأوهام ولا تدركه الأفهام ولا يشبهه الأنام، حي لا يموت قيوم لا ينام ولا ينبغي له أن ينام، ذلك بأنه على كل شيء قدير وكل شيء إليه فقير وكل أمر عليه يسير، لا يحتاج إلى شيء وليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة، هو الرحمن الرحيم. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر، سبحان الله عما يشركون. هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور، له الأسماء الحسنى، يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه وخليله وأمينه على وحيه ومبلغ الناس شرعه، ما ترك خيرا إلا دل الأمة عليه ولا شرا إلا حذرها منه، فصلوات الله وسلامه وبركاته عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله، وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. ثم أما بعد. Indeed, the best of the words are the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the best of the guidance and the only accepted guidance in Islam is the guidance of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the worst of the matters are the newly invented matters in Islam, and every newly invented matter in Islam is an innovation. And every innovation will indeed misguide us, and every misguidance will take us to one destination, Jahannam wa sa'at masira. أعاذنا الله وإياكم منها. قولوا آمين. ما بعد, first and foremost, I would like to highly appreciate our young youth who are here today that are off of school and that dedicated this day to not stay home and play video games, but they're actually here. It feels more like the Sunday school all over again, mashallah. I would like to remind the youngsters as well that are next to each other to please, first of all, move forward, and secondly, during the Jummah, please try not to talk. I see a lot of you guys talking to each other, and that will invalidate your khutbah. So if you want to get rewarded for why you're here, try to cease talking, inshallah. Brothers and sisters, today I want to talk about a topic that I swear, wallahi, none of the board members asked me to speak about it. I always give my khutbahs on my own, and this is one of the benefits of being in America, the First Amendment, freedom of speech. Hopefully we'll never have to give a khutbah ever in my life that is written down where I have to speak about it, but this is fully on me. And I think it is a responsibility upon imams and leaders in communities to talk about matters that their community members need and that they are struggling with, and only on that topic specifically. Prophets were sent to each community to talk about the issue that that community is facing. Prophet Lut alayhi salam, for example, Allah sent him to a gay community where he only discussed that topic. He didn't talk about anything else. Brothers and sisters, for about a week and two now, we've been talking about this coming Sunday we have our general body meeting. And why am I choosing this topic today? Because of how important I feel this topic is to be discussed. What a general body meeting is when your board members of the masjid, they come and they are transparent with the community about what is going on, and you also are transparent about how you feel. In a lot of masajid, I've traveled to 28 different states and went to so many masajid. And what I've noticed that we have in the United States is just a huge gap and void between the board members and the community members. Now the community members are divided into three groups. A group that fully trusts the board members in what they do. Another group is the other extreme that does not trust them whatsoever. And there is a middle group of مُذَبْذَبِينَ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ لَا إِلَى هَؤُلَاء وَلَا إِلَى هَؤُلَاء. In English, they go with the flow. Whatever they are pushed, whatever they hear, they just follow. Now I want to focus more on the extreme group that feels that they do not trust what is being said or done. It's easy to speak, and it's easy to pass accusations. It's easy to not trust. It's easy to assume things. Everyone can do that. And that is unfortunately what I have been facing in this community since I came here day one. I spoke to a lot of brothers trying to introduce myself and being introduced. And I mentioned this even to the board members that some of the first few weeks, people that I don't even know their first or last name, they're attacking what they believe or what they think they believe. And they attack some of the things and criticize some of the things that they have absolutely no clue in. And again, Allah is a witness that I'm sure the council members that are here did not know about this topic, and I feel it is very important for us to discuss this, right? So on a general body meeting, you have the entire council coming in, and they will talk about what the masjid is going through, what they're doing, where your funds, where a lot of people have that lack of trust in, is where our funds are going. Well, first of all, this masjid has 2 imams. And then we have a Sunday school, and then we have utility bills, and we have a whole lot of stuff that happens. People come in and ask me, or Imam Iftikhar, one question all year long: the construction project. What's next? And our obvious answer is, well, brother, hopefully there's progress. This is happening. But you can also approach the community, the board members, and ask them about it. And that's where you come in. And you get to know these answers to questions that you do not have, that are circling in your head of what's going on. Secondly is a question I would like to ask everybody here. How important is the masjid in your community, in your life? What is the priority of the masjid in your priority list? Where does it come? Is it on the first priority? Is it on the second, third? Is it not there at all? Because apparently and unfortunately there's a lot of people, not only here but all over the world, Islam or the masjid or the future of their religion and their kids' religion, they don't really care about it. And again, they're concerned. They do want their kids to be raised properly. They do have that concern. But what action are you doing? We have in this masjid programs and educational programs every single day of the week in this masjid, day and night. Audience-wise, how is the audience? It's honestly terrible. It's really, really poor. I started a audience program about maybe 2.5 months ago. And that program, when I first started, had 18 students. And the very first day I told them that in a month and a half from now, I'm going to have 4 or 5 of you left. Do you know how much I have left as of today? 1 student. Wallahi, 1 student only. That it has not missed a class since it started. And I personally will continue to teach that 1 student until the last breath that I have. I don't care about the audience, but you should. These kids that come out here only once a week or once a year or once however long their school is off, that shouldn't only be sufficient for you. You should be first in line. And I always mention a very beautiful quote for Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, when he says, مَنْ عَاشَ لِنَفْسِهِ فَقَدْ يَرْتَاحِ وَلَكِنَّهُ يَعِيشُ صَغِيرًا وَيَمُوتُ صَغِيرًا وَمَنْ عَاشَ لِغَيْرِهِ فَقَدْ يَتْعَبْ وَلَكِنَّهُ يَعِيشُ كَبِيرًا وَيَمُوتُ كَبِيرًا وَيُبْعَثُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ كَبِيرًا. That he who lives for himself and has no concern for others or for his faith, he will have somewhat of a peaceful mind. His stress level is not as high as someone who lives and his concern is for others, for the deen. And I ask all of you, honestly, what have we done for our deen? When Allah in the Quran talks about jihad, struggling and striving, always associates it with jahadu bi amwalihim wa anfusihim. Either physically being there and doing a physical work, or if for whatever reason they can't, they support financially. In this community, we have financial support. We don't have manpower. We ask for volunteers. There's nobody here. We set programs for the community that people ask about. Nobody comes. Where is the lack? And that's why I really do ask the brothers, Sunday, if you have nothing, or even if you do, make this a priority. Come ask any question that you have. Come and see what you can do for these young kids that are here today, and how we can help. That's why we are here to serve this community. That's why I am here to serve the community, Imam and these members. So if you have any type of negative feeling towards the masjid in its entirety or its management, come hash it out on that day. Not in a fuel like you're on fire, but come and ask and talk about it and hear what they have been doing. And wallahi alim, if a lot of people that have these accusations knew what these members and these management and the brothers on the council do behind closed doors on a daily basis, wallahi you will not have any negative thought about them. May Allah bless them all for their hard work that they're doing. Say Ameen. I want us to all be involved in this community and how to stand forward and how to serve the masjid. I mentioned a hadith a few days ago of a lady during the time of the Prophet ﷺ. She used to come once or twice a week and clean the masjid. She would mop the masjid or sweep the masjid and clean it up, and she would leave. And the Prophet noticed it. Something very simple. And one day she passed away. She died at nighttime. The companions, they did not think that she was of high value or high priority or high class for it to be announced publicly on the news back then. So what they did simply is they buried her that same night. And of course in Islamic, as I mentioned, that when someone dies, it is a sunnah to hasten up in their burial. The Prophet ﷺ, a few days later, he noticed that the masjid is not clean and this woman is not there. So he asked the companions, where is so-and-so? And they told the Prophet, well, she passed away a few days ago. And we buried her at night and we were asleep and we did not want to wake you up. So one of us, led the prayer, we buried her and done deal. So they thought it was something normal. But the Prophet ﷺ was very offended and upset by it. And he asked them to show them where her grave was. And he went and he led janazah on her again and made long dua for her. For what? For just cleaning the masjid, subhanAllah. We see the masjid is dirty, we see a lot of things about the masjid that in our minds, this person will clean up, or that person will do it, or this person will do it. Someday just come miraculously when you are bored at home, at your TV or on your phone, say, let me go to the masjid and clean it up. Let me go to the bathroom and clean it up. This is your house, this is your community. And you should worry about taking care of your community like how you would take care of your own house. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يهدينا وإياكم سواء الصراط إنه تعالى ولذلك والقادر عليه أقول ما سمعتم واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. On Judgment Day, we will all be asked the question about what we have served and what we have done for our deen in our local communities. And that is a question that we all should be prepared to answer. These young kids, Yawm al-Qiyamah, believe it or not, they will point fingers at you. And they will tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the parents did not bring them to the masajid, that they were not educated. Don't think because they are in the United States that they are free citizens of society. They are still your responsibility. This conversation as well, even though it may seem like it is for the parents, I want my youngsters to hear this as well. If your parents don't bring you here, you should bring them with you. And you should have that positive energy of wanting to learn about your deen. I understand we are in an era or a time where it may seem to be boring. And I truly understand that. And the thing, unfortunately, is not a lot of parents understand that their kids feel bored about learning about their deen. Because unfortunately, the message for Islam, yes, it will never change, it will always be the same. But unfortunately, they may have experienced, or you may have experienced du'at or imams that their way of delivering the message is so old school, that does not reach neither their hearts or your hearts. And these kids today, they want to hear how to relate their religion that they see in that book to their daily life today. And it's not impossible, and it's not hard. Alhamdulillah, a lot of Masajid are bringing young imams to relate to their youth. So I do ask the parents to hold that responsibility. Inshallah, tonight we do have our Family Night program, and my topic is raising your kids in America and in Islam in general. So I would hope that parents who are concerned that will bring their kids to and themselves to listen to this lecture. I spent a long time, honestly, researching and preparing for such a talk. So please don't prevent yourself and your kids from benefiting from these programs, and along with the many other programs that the masjid has to offer. I ask Allah Azza wa Jalla أن يوفقنا وإياكم لكل خير. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكيها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها. اللهم اجعل عملنا كله في رضاك واغننا برحمتك عمن سواك وعمر قلوبنا بتقواك واجعلنا نخشاك حتى نراك إلى يوم نلقاك. اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم واغفر لنا إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. اللهم أنت الله لا إله إلا أنت الغني ونحن الفقراء. أنزل علينا الغيث ولا تجعلنا من القانتين. اللهم ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. واذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. I have an MRI appointment at 2:15, that's why I finished the khutbah a little early. So please everybody forgive me for that, inshallah ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.